Hey everyone! Today we're going to be working on 3 Christmas DIYs. The first 2 DIYs are going to be pretty easy. The third one, it does look a bit intimidating, but I promise you it is pretty easy. It just takes more time. But don't worry, I'll be with you every step of the way. The first project is going to be a Christmas candle centerpiece, and you're going to start out with a dough bowl. And I got this from Hobby Lobby. So the next 3 items I also got from Hobby Lobby, and I found these beautiful vintage looking candle holders, not in the Christmas section though. It's where they have all of their candles at all year long. That's where I found these at. So I got 2 short ones and 1 medium. Okay, so these candle holders lay great on a flat surface, but when you put them on a slightly curved surface, it can become a little tricky to stabilize them, so I was rotating them on the dough bowl to see where they like to lay at. Now with the taller candle holder, I actually had to add foam underneath it because it did not want to stand up straight. And it would rock back and forth too. So what I did was I found some foam and I placed it underneath the bottom of the candle holder so it would stay in place. Okay, so here's what it looks like with the foam underneath it. Now when it comes to centerpieces, especially if there are going to be people all around it, like for example, a dining table, you're going to want to make sure that everything is nice and straight. Look at it from all angles. Can you see how the middle candle holder is crooked? It's leaning to the right a little bit. So all I did was rearrange the foam and I was able to straighten it. Next, we're going to be placing some cedar around it. And these picks I also got from Hobby Lobby. A lot of my items I got from Hobby Lobby. You're going to need at least 3 to 4 of these. If I were you, I would get 4 of them. And I love this tool right here. It's a mini bolt cutter and it makes it so easy to cut picks. And what I did was that I cut this pick up so I was able to create 3 separate picks from it. And you're going to do that to all 4 of your picks. So the first thing I did was I used the shorter parts of the picks and I placed them around the short candle holders. And what I did to help them lay better around the candle holders was I rotated the stem a little bit, but one of the leaves came off, so I just kind of tossed that to the side. Keep that for later because if you have any voids, you can use those to fill the voids. So next I used some more of the shorter pieces and I placed them around the middle candle holder. Okay, so now I'm going to take the longer picks and I'm going to place them on each side of these small candle holders. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place those stems underneath the other cedar stems. And if you have extra cedar laying about, well, you can place those in some voids. So next we're going to add some more greenery and we're going to be adding Norfolk pine. I actually took this from one pick and I separated all the leaves from it. So basically what I'm going to be doing at this part is I'm going to be finding some areas that are a little empty and I'm going to be placing the Norfolk pine in those sites. So I absolutely love these picks. I also got these from Hobby Lobby. So the thing about any picks is that you want to fluff them out before you place them in your arrangement. The same thing goes for this one. So when you spread the stems on this pick, what I try to imagine is spread it out enough so it looks like a firework. If you're going to use the same crystal picks that I ended up using, you're going to need 2 of them, one on each side of the arrangement. When it comes to berry picks, this one is my favorite. My Christmas tree is covered in them. You're also going to want to spread out the stems on this too. So when I laid these berries down in the arrangement, I wrapped the longer part of the stem just slightly around the candle holder, so it looks like it's centered. I hope that made sense. If any parts of the crystal pick were flattened, just lift them back up, because you don't want them to be buried in your arrangement. Next thing I added were pine cones, and I found these pine cones at Michael's, and the longer pine cones I actually got from Walmart. Oh, and I also found these baby pine cones at Michael's. I thought they were really cute, and they come with cinnamon sticks and dried berries, so I thought it would add some character to the arrangement. So if there were any large voids, or if I could see any of the bare stems from the cedar, I would cover them with the pine cones. Now I'm going to add the final touch, and we are going to add the candles. Now these are the candles I have at the time, and I would not recommend using real candles. I mean, you can as long as you don't light them. I would recommend using LED candles so you don't have an actual flame to them. I'm just worried about fire being very close to the pine cones. So if you are going to use real candles, don't light them, just use them for show. But if you want tapered candles with lights on them, I did find some LED candles with an animated flame on them. I'll link it in the description below. And here are the final results of our first Christmas project. Now we're on to project number 2. So I do love to go antiquing, and I found this silver pitcher at an antique store. So I just placed some extra foam that I had lying around in my craft room into the pitcher, and this will help the stems lay upright when I place them in. As you can tell, I really like these cedar stems, and you're going to need 2 for this project. Maybe 3 if you want it to be more full. So what I did is that I shortened the stem by bending it. I didn't want to cut it because I could use this for another project, and we'll probably need the full length of the stem. Oh, and also make sure your pitcher is in the direction you want it at before you place the stems in, because these stems are going to be your backdrop. Next, you're going to get out some more Norfolk pine. I'm going to place these in front of the pitcher, and they're going to act as a spiller for me. So when it comes to an arrangement, usually there's 3 parts. There's the thriller, the filler, and then the spiller. So the spiller is the Norfolk pine, the thriller is going to be the cedar, and then the filler are going to be berries. And also, I added the crystals because why not? I love the crystals. They're in my Christmas tree, they're in my other arrangements, so I'm just going to add them in so it matches. And here are the final results of this arrangement. Okay, y'all, are you ready for the third project? I know it does look a little intimidating, but I promise you, it's pretty easy. It just takes some time. So, we're going to start with the base. So, I found this foam cone in the floral section of Hobby Lobby. You're going to need some air dry clay, and I love this one. This one's my favorite. A bottle of Tight Bond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue, and this silicone mold with all these leaves on it. We're going to use this one right here. Now, if you feel that your clay is getting a little hard, you can use some fragrance-free lotion in it. Not too much, though. You don't want for it to become squishy. Gloves are optional, and I'm using a paper plate for paint. So I want y'all to learn from my mistakes. Paint the foam first with your base color. My base color is black, and I painted it with a matte black color. It'll just make it easier down the line when you put all the leaves on the cone. Any voids, they'll already be black, so you don't have to struggle painting them in. So just know you're going to be making a lot of these leaves, and I mean a lot. I don't know how many leaves I made in total, but there's a lot. So after you made your first leaf, you're going to want to carefully remove it from the mold. You don't want to accidentally squish the leaf and remove any of the details. So next, I carefully picked up the leaf, turned it around, and then started placing glue on the back of it. I did not place glue on the whole entire leaf, just the top half of it, because you're going to see how I'm going to place the leaf onto the cone. And can you see how I laid the leaf down? This is why you don't want to put glue on the whole entire leaf, just the top portion of it. So when I placed the second leaf down, I slightly overlapped the other leaf. I just wanted to minimize the amount of voids that were going to be on the cone, but as you can see, I did not paint this cone black because this was the cone that I learned my lesson from. I should have painted this cone first and then placed the leaves on, so it just made it harder for me to paint the piece later on. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, if you've made your leaves already, do any of your leaves look like this? Do you see that material that's bleeding outside of the leaf? Well, it's either because you placed too much material inside of the mold, or you are accidentally placing clay outside of the leaf, and that's okay. I can show you how to fix it. So here, as you can see, I accidentally placed the material outside of the leaf. I have seen people use palette knives, so you can use that, or what you can do is that you can take the material and pull back on it. Do you see how I'm placing my finger on the extra material and then pulling back into the middle of the leaf? That's what you're going to want to do on all sides of your mold. Sorry it's a little blurry, but you're going to have clean lines like this. So the next steps are going to be the same pattern. You're going to make your leaves and then glue. Make the leaves and then glue. I usually made around 3 to 4 leaves, and then after that I glue them. The reason why I didn't make too many leaves all at once is because I still wanted the material to be pliable enough so I could shape them onto the tree. What I will say about this clay though, it is pretty forgivable. You do have a long working time with them. What that working time is, I don't know. I'm sure it says it on the package, I'm just too lazy to look at it right now. Alrighty, we're now onto the second layer, and you're going to want to put glue on the top half of the leaf again. You don't want to put it on the whole entire leaf. Also, when I placed the leaves, I staggered them. I did not stack the leaves all up in a straight line. Okay, so since my cone didn't come with a tip at the end of it, I had to make one. And once it dried enough, I then glued it on top. So this part is optional, but if you want your leaves to flare out, what I did was that I held the tree upside down. I actually waited for the leaves to dry a little bit more so they weren't so floppy. And what I did was that I came in with a hairdryer on low heat and made sure I was about 10 inches away from the surface and blew heat all over the tree. And I did that for about 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, so by this time when I added the paint, it was too late. But I just thought I would add it here, so this part of the tree wasn't going to be a pain to paint. Also, I made sure everything was completely dry before I started painting it, of course. So once I placed the last 3 leaves, I fused the top part of the leaves together. And I did that by using some of the extra glue that came out from the top, and I smoothed the clay together. Okay, so while I was waiting on that tree to dry, I was working on the second tree. At the time, I was thinking, ooh, I really love the look of these small leaves. And I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I was not thinking ahead. And I should have placed these leaves on the smaller tree, but instead, I put them on the biggest cone that I had. So I had to make a lot of these little leaves. And let me tell you, I got pretty fast at this. Okay, not this fast. I sped up my video. But I felt like I became quick enough to where I felt confident enough to make a whole entire plate of leaves and then place them all on at once. Like I said, it's not hard, it's just a lot of time. So make sure you put on a good movie. I was watching Lord of the Rings when I was making this tree. Alright, once the trees were completely dry and I let them dry overnight, I started painting my base color on. And you want to be careful. You don't want to be too mean to the trees when you're painting them. It is a soft clay, so you can risk fracturing a piece off of it if you're too aggressive with your painting. Now this part can be a little tedious as well. I used a large brush to paint the bulk of it, and then I actually had to go in with a smaller paintbrush to paint underneath the leaves. So just know, as you've seen, placing the leaves on and painting your base color are going to take the longest time. After that, it should be smooth sailing. Okay, so now I'm going to be using my second layer of paint, and this one is called Coffee Bean by Folk Art. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be dry brushing this paint onto the tree. And if you're not familiar with dry brushing, basically what you do is you add some paint to your paintbrush, remove most of it onto a paper towel, and then you lightly brush on the paint. And this will bring out the details on the leaf. And again, you just want to gently sweep the brush over the leaves. Okay, I didn't have any green, so I had to make my own green. So you're going to use blue and you're going to use yellow. You're going to use your primary colors. So blue and yellow makes green. I wanted my green to go more towards the cooler tones, so I added more blue than yellow. But It ended up being a bit too dark for me, so I had to manipulate my material and I added more yellow. Well, I added too much yellow and it became a bit too light, so I added in a little dollop of blue and I was able to get the green that I wanted. And with the green, you're also going to do the dry brush method. But I became a little lazy and I started wiping off some of the paint on my glove. It worked. It probably would have worked better if I used the paper towel. Oh well. After a while of painting, I didn't really use the dry brush method anymore. I just kind of stippled it on. I was pretty happy with the results. It wasn't too bad. Alright, so the next layer of paint I use is pure gold from Folk Art. Oh my gosh, that bottle is so dirty. I am messy when it comes to crafting. I am so sorry. And by the way, when it comes to this gold, a little bit goes a long way. So you're really going to want to gently sweep that brush along the leaves. Okay, because the gold highlights weren't enough, I wanted to add more highlights. This is French vanilla. And with this color, you're really going to want to use your paper towel to wipe the paint off. Because as you can see right now, see how this color is overpowering the other colors? Yeah, I made a mistake. I actually had to go back in with gold again. Now I want to show you something here. That tree that you saw at the beginning, it's actually a different color. If you can see that the top one, it's actually lighter than the one I'm currently painting. The reason being is because I dry brushed after the dark green, I dry brushed this metallic Christmas green color, and it's by Folk Art. And it'll make your tree a little lighter. The thing is that I felt like it made it too light for me. I actually wanted it to have a darker, kind of moodier color to it. So that's why I chose to not use Christmas green this time around. After my trees were completely dry, I went back and sprayed them down with a matte sealer. And here are the end results. Well, I hope that this video gave you some inspiration, and if you're not done with Christmas, you want to watch more Christmas videos, I do have this one. Check out the one on the left. I visit a Christmas store in Oklahoma City that is 20,000 square feet. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. Well, until next time, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Bye.